record this session so that those who were not able to attend the session can watch the session. So my name is Kilimo Bunifu, and I will be your facilitator for next week when we run the Kilimo Bunifu Workshop. And I am with my colleagues from Passion of Hope, Brian, who has just joined us, and Joelle, who has been with us for a while. We also have Stella and Mael, who are not on the call at the moment. But our intention today with the tech session is really just to make sure that everyone is comfortable with the Zoom environment and we can work together to create a wonderful interactive experience in a Zoom call. So I'm going to ask you to uh, just give us attention for about 10 minutes or so. I'll cover a couple of principles that I would like us to just abide with next week when we do the workshop together. And then I'll take some Q&As. And then at the end, if you want to stick around maybe to get one-to-one help, you're welcome to do so. And we don't want to make an assumption that everybody has been using Zoom. And we do understand that others have been inundated with a whole lot of virtual calls, have been using Zoom, have even facilitated sessions through Zoom, and are very familiar with most of the content that we're going to cover. And sometimes others have been using other platforms, as there are many other platforms that are not Zoom that could be used to run a workshop like the one that we're going to run. Now, the reason why we opted for the Zoom environment to run the workshop, there are many reasons. We have been working in this way since the beginning of lockdown all the way in March. And I can boldly say I have run about 100 sessions since that time for different organizations globally, locally, and we have done our comparisons with many other platforms, and we opted for Zoom because it's going to give us the most interactive experience and allow us to align with the purposes of the workshop. So we are going to just show you, I'm going to share my screen and we're just going to show you very high level what the workshop looks like next week. And I'm going to do a slideshow for that. Fantastic. So this is the workshop that your high level overview of the workshop for next week. So it starts on Monday at 8:30 Central African Time, 9:30 Eastern African Time. So please note those days and those times. I have tried to send you calendar invites that are hopefully syncing with your local time zones, just to make sure that we are all at sync when it comes to time. This is a global conference where many others will be joining from different parts of the world. So it's very important that we're all aligned with regards to time and there's no struggle. Now, what will happen that very first part of the morning? So we've divided each day into 4 parts. So first on Monday, that first part of the morning from 8:30 Central African Time to 10 o'clock, we'll hear from the first panel. That will include hearing from the keynote speaker, the ambassador, who will speak to us about the context that we're exploring here, integration of appropriateness in medium scale farming enterprises. And we'll also get a welcome by Brian, and we'll still do some of the technical stuff. Then we'll have a short break for 15 minutes. When we come back, our intention is for you to engage with one another, to get to know one another. We have different participants who are interested in this same field from all over different places in the world. And our part of our intention is for you to engage with one another, to connect with one another, to build relationships that hopefully can continue beyond the 2-day workshop. So those interactive sessions that you see on the agenda are meant for you to connect with one another and get to know each other more. We will be divided into 4 groups where we'll each have each group um, solving problems together, ideating together, and hopefully prototyping something and doing their final presentations on day 2. So everything is designed using the design thinking approach, the design thinking methodologies to help you to navigate from understanding context, coming up with answers that you want to, questions that you want to answer, coming up with those ideas and building prototypes and presentations at the end of the day. Then when we come back from a lunch, which will start at 12:30 Central African time, meaning 1:30 Eastern African time, up to 2:30 Eastern African time, we will then hear from the second panel. Second panel has 4 panel members, and they will get to share their perspectives with us. It will be interactive. We'll also have some Q&A sessions and engage with them. Then after that, we'll have a short break and continue into an interactive session defining a problem in the afternoon. Now, we will give you an overnight assignment to work as a group and also as individuals to explore deeper and understand the deeper context that you're exploring. Then on the second day, there'll be a whole lot of interactive engaging sessions where we ask you now to navigate using the design thinking process, coming up with ideas and strengthening those ideas and reimagining the future, and then presenting to one another, getting feedback from one another until we have what we call a minimum viable intervention and we have final presentations. So this is the overview of the program. Now, we are going to facilitate this using a Zoom environment. And I'm going to share a few tips of using the Zoom environment. Just excuse me to drink something. Now, first and foremost, Zoom has been very interesting in that it's been very, very innovative. And almost every week there's an update because they've done something that responds to the market and they have improved a certain service. So, right from March, when I started to use it full time in teaching, it has evolved so much and changed so much up until today. We sometimes send them an email to say we want an improvement in a certain aspect, and they respond and they actually make it happen. They're very responsive like that. With the current Zoom, what we do advise you is please update your Zoom. So it's a very fast update, happens very quickly. You just go into your Zoom and you go into your preferences and you click on update. It's very easy and it happens so quickly. It also doesn't chow a lot of bandwidth. Working with that latest version of Zoom is going to help you a lot to improve your experience of the workshop. I'll tell you some of the very interesting updates that Zoom has done. And right now, if you have a second screen like me, and you can see everybody, even though I am sharing my screen, you are able to move people around on your screen according to what you want. So right now I see different people. I can move Brian next to Sharon and move Sharon next to Hesborn and move Hannington next to Joel and move them around and see you the way that I want to see you. Whereas previously, it didn't allow us to do that. So now I can drag you around literally and see you the way I want to see you. It's one of the updates that they have made. Some of those updates include things like you, as a participant, can now choose the breakaway room that you want to join. So it's no longer a thing of you're forced to wait for the co-host or the host of a meeting to get you into a breakaway room. You can now choose a breakaway room and enter the breakaway room that you want to get into. Yeah. So those are some of the small things, but elevate the experience of using the Zoom environment. Now, Zoom has many panels, and we want you to just be familiar with all of those panels. So when you are, and at this point, I'm going to stop sharing so that I can use what is in front of you to navigate you through this short exercise. So right now, you are seeing me alone because I have spotlighted myself. So I have spotlighted the speaker currently. That's why you are seeing me and you're possibly not seeing everybody else. If I remove the spotlight, then you get to see what we call the gallery view. But if you go to the top right corner, there is what we call the speaker view, and there's also what we call the gallery view. You can select whatever view that you want. We advise you that every time we do interactive work, please choose to be in the gallery view. In the gallery view is the view where you get to see everybody. But each time there's a talk, like when we hear from panelists, when we hear from the keynote, then we advise you to be in speaker view because then you get to see only that person. Yeah. Sometimes you can just pin yourself. So for some of the activities on Monday morning that we're going to do, I'll be saying, click the three dots next to your picture and click on pin. When you click on pin, then all you're going to see on the screen is yourself. And that only happens for that one exercise anyway. So all of these different options about what you view in front of you can be explored and can be exploited for the best experience of a Zoom environment. Now, I hope that's clear to everybody. And having said that, the other real request that we have from our group about our workshops is that you please consistently switch your camera on throughout the workshop. So right now, I can only see Ndate Samuel and Ndate Marcellus and Joel, and I don't see anybody else behind their names. Thank you, Kevin, for switching on your camera. And it's really great to have everybody's camera on. And all of a sudden, I feel like I have humans behind the screens that I'm talking to. I get to see people's smiles, which makes a big difference as a facilitator and as a speaker when there are people behind the screens. And one thing about the video view as well is that um, try and place yourself in a way that there's no light behind you, because when there's light behind you, sometimes it darkens your face. So rather let the light face you. So where I'm sitting in my office here, when the light is facing me, I become a bit brighter and you can see me clearly. But if I had light behind me, like right now, you see how dark I suddenly become because light is right behind me. So I try and position my work environment such that behind me there's no light, and rather light is in front of me. So if you can try and position yourself like that at all times, we'll be able to see each other. In Africa, it's so wonderful. We have darker skin, so we have more interesting problems around light and seeing each other in a Zoom environment. So that light helps. I even have an external light here that I bought just sometimes to put it right in front of me so that my light can shine on my face and I can be more visible. So try and keep your cameras on. It makes a huge difference in a Zoom meeting. If you're worried about bandwidth, I can assure you that Zoom actually came out as the best amongst the many others that we compared to. It doesn't use a lot of bandwidth like many other software, virtual reality software that use videos. So Zoom is very cost effective when it comes to having videos on. So try as much as possible. Then at the bottom of your Zoom screen, at the bottom, there's let me just navigate you through them all. Right at the beginning to the left, you see the mute button. You are in control of that. We're going to allow people to mute and unmute themselves as they want in a meeting so that you can fully engage, fully be interactive. So you can mute yourself and unmute yourself. Please, whenever there is noise behind you, just stay muted. Then it doesn't distract everybody. As you come in, we will automatically mute you. After you also ask a question, you have to unmute to mute yourself again so that we don't get distracted. And then on the video settings too on Zoom, there are many other quite exciting things that have come with the upgrade. Like you can put a mustache on yourself. It sounds funny. And you can also put your eyebrows on yourself, and you can put a lipstick on yourself. It's all of these fun things that they have done as an upgrade on Zoom. I'm telling you, don't you believe me? It's called Studio. It's called Studio Filters, video filters, and it's called Studio, and you can do all sorts of fun things on yourself. You can put a mask on yourself, all sorts of fun things. And it does actually allow you to do these silly things. And then you also have a studio where you can even put lipstick. So I've just put a red lipstick and a purple lipstick on myself and a brown one. And I can also put eyebrows. That's just for fun. But I'm just saying, play around with your technology. Have fun with your technology and enjoy the Zoom environment and do the fun things in the workshop. Then next, you have security. Those security features, we have more control around if we allow you to unmute yourself or not, and so on and so forth, or we lock the meeting and we don't allow more people. I won't go through it. Then you have participants. If you look on them, if you click on participants, you'll then get to see a list of participants who are on the course. So if I click on it, I see all the 15 participants who are here today. Then next, there is a very important function that we want you to use, and it's called chat. Chat, if all of you can just type hi on the chat. Hi, my name is whosoever and which country you come from. Let's use it now, and you will see that immediately it just makes such a difference. Just like having videos on, suddenly there were humans behind saying, hi, my name is so and so, and this is where I come from. All of a sudden, I just really feel connected to Lillian from Kenya, to Brian from Benin, to Joel from Kenya, and Edwin from Kenya, and we have someone from Addis. Addis is one of my favorite cities. Ido, hello. And Sarah from Kenya, and Hannington from Kenya. And now I get to see everybody, and all of a sudden I'm engaging quite differently. So we'll be using chat quite a lot. Hi, Samuel. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for responding. So we'll be using chat quite a lot. Now, next to chat is the green button called share screen. When I click on share screen, it allows me to select whatever I want to share, and I click on share, and then all of a sudden you can see my screen that I am sharing with you right now. So that's going to become important when you do your presentations in a group, and I'll repeat all of these instructions in a group environment. And then besides the chat function that we have just played with, we also have the participants list. Now remember, on the participants list, You can even chat to people privately. So you can click on a person and you can click on chat and you can have private conversation with that person. Yeah. And this one that I'm sharing on the screen is a gala reviews where everybody is present at the same time and seeing everybody at the same time in a Zoom environment at that time. So that's the gallery view. And then I can also have this shared document, which I have shared through the share screen, just like I have done it right now. What we really want to do in a workshop next week is to create an environment like the one that you see on the screen right now. This is a workshop that I'm running today for a company here in South Africa for VW. Do you see that 100% of my participants have their cameras on? Yes. And do you see people smiling, doing drawings, and engaging with one another? Some of them have virtual backgrounds. This jubilant feeling of just people wanting to be present, we get by switching our cameras on, being present. Our vision is to create an atmosphere where we really just engage with each other and we have fun, and we can do a lot in this environment. Now, next week I will show you, like I'm doing today with my participants. We'll have working documents like this that we're gonna do together. You'll be working, you'll be doing things together. I'll have this post-it notes platform where you'll be using post-it notes to work together in the same screen. Now, all of that is possible if you're using your computer to connect, because your computer will allow you to have two screens, and don't run anything else but the two screens, your Zoom and your document where you're going to be working together with others, because then all the resources of your computer can be utilized by Zoom and this Google document that you're going to be working on together. Don't let email be running in the background because it will distract you. Minimize disruptions. Don't let web WhatsApp run online because it will disturb you and distract you from the process. Just shut down everything else and just focus on having Zoom and just the slide pack that we'll share with you for a workshop. So I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Oh, there is fun stuff at the bottom of your screen as well, like little reactions that you can do. Can you give me a heart or a laughter, little reactions, or a party thing, or a sharp sharp at the bottom? So we use some of those reactions, especially with when the panel is speaking. We want them to feel like we are listening. So they really come up with a good point. We give them a sharp, we give them a hand clap, we give them some heart if they say something really nice, just to encourage them, to show them that we are present, we're engaged, and we're listening. Now, what's going to happen as well a lot in the interactive sessions is I'll be sending you in what we call the breakaway rooms. In breakaway rooms is where you get away with a few people, you engage with one another, you have conversations, and then you come back. I can test that very quickly with you now. So I'm going to create we have 18 people on the call, so rather I'm going to create 5 breakaway rooms, and you have to accept an invitation to go into a breakaway room. When you get into your breakaway room, you just have to introduce yourselves very quickly and say, hello, I'm sorry, so this is where I'm coming from. I'm excited to be here. I'm just giving you a minute to see what it's like to go into a breakaway room. Now you firstly have to accept an invitation to go into a breakaway room in order to go there. Then after 1 minute of introducing yourselves to one another, I'll call you back. Are you okay, Lillian? Great. Peter, are you okay? Okay. You're back, Ellie. Samuel, you are muted.
Yeah, thank you. I've just opened. We were there with the Huntington and the other gentleman, and we agreed that we come back.
Fantastic.
The main room. We thought you wanted us now back in the main room.
It's perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
Okay.
I think everyone is back now. In 22 seconds, we'll actually have every single person back. Fantastic. Welcome back. And I hope you had a good experience of introducing yourselves to one another and meeting the two other people in the short session right here. Was the technology easy? Was it nice to also have a bit of privacy, have conversations and come back? Yeah? Yeah, so there's really been a lot of improvement from when we started out beginning of the year. Now it seems like increasingly we're experiencing less technology problems, even with something like breakaway rooms. So this is really fantastic. With that, I want to say thank you for attending our tech session today. It's 1:30, and we're happy to stick around for another 5 minutes for people who have very specific technology needs that they want to ask us. And then we close off at 1:35 Central African time. Questions?
Yes, I have a question. I wanted to find out if the meeting is scheduled and only the participants